Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. 1,000 cups of tea, but not like this one. 1,000 breaths we breathe, but not like this one. 1,000 suns will rise, but not like this one. 1,000 lullabies, but not like this one. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. 1,000 passing smiles, come on, sing it, but not like this one. 1,000 starlit skies, but not like this one. 1,000 words to choose, but not like this one. 1,000 I love yous, but not like this one. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. I'm with a brand new pair of eyes, so that we may finally see. Yeah. 1,000 cups of tea, 1,000 gifts received, 1,000 fields of green, 1,000 farewells will grieve, and 1,000 lives conceived. Come on, sing it. But not like this one. 1,000 hands will hold, but not like this one. 1,000 stories told, but not like this one. 1,000 beauties to behold, but not like this one. And 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. And 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. Put your hand up on your heart with us right now. 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. So let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
You know our world is in great pain. She needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need.
There is a cost for every act, and now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang a drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love,
to stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release,
for
what is beautiful and true, to stand for hope, to stand for you. If you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who'll change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move, and I will climb that mountain one step at a time. And I won't be swayed, I will not stop until we've made it to the top, where we will stand for love and peace. We'll stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. We'll stand for hope, we'll stand for you. What is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, a baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Sold bought to a casa
I lift my voice to God above, who only shines eternal love. And life was hard before I really knew ya. You hear me cry out.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Hello, and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community, and we believe there are many paths to one divinity. We have a group, a wonderful gang of 10 different faith perspective speakers, and we have a 10 group gang of musicians. And at the beginning of every 10-week series, we give them a one-word topic. And each speaker and musician, they take a turn, take their week, and come back with a message on that topic. And the musicians come back with a couple of videos, and we send it all to our tech team, Philip Lupo and his crew, and they put it together, and you get what you are seeing now. So
I like that kind of 4 different crews and gangs and
it takes a village.
yeah, it's neat.
It
I
takes a
like
village.
that.
So if you would like to join the village, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org. In the middle of that first page, there's a donate button. That's a real concrete way you can help, because we pay our speakers, we pay our musicians, we pay our tech team, and everything that gets donated is put into the pod, and the pod also tithes. So if you would like to do that, we would greatly appreciate it.
Last week we heard from our Native American representative, Will Davis, and his musical accompaniment was Keith Leon. We are presently in a series on Judgement, and it has been very, very interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. Very cool.
This week we'll hear from our Wiccan representative, Oracle, and Daniel Keppel. Next week, we will hear from our Vedic yoga representative, and her name is Swami Shakti Durgaya.
Very good.
Yes, I nailed it. It only took me like 6 or 7 times, but thank you for your patience. And Sister Jennifer Farron from the mountains up in North Carolina, and they will be a perfect little blend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing those 2 ladies come together. Past services can be found on the People of Diversity Facebook group, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. If you're looking for them on Facebook, they'll be in the video and archive sections of the page in the group. And if you go on to YouTube, to the People of Diversity channel, you will have an opportunity to search that. 152 videos over 5 years.
153.
153 videos over 5 years. And you can search them on by topic or by faith. And that gives you a chance to study, to learn, to grow, to just peruse, however you want to play. We do a deep dive from 11:45 to 12:15 after the morning service. join us for that. The link is in the post above. The password, should you need it, is truth. We keep that to a half an hour. We end directly at 12:15, so as not to chew up your afternoon. Please join us for that. It's a chance to chat and talk and visit and connect. I shared with you about the YouTube channel. We do a second broadcast of the morning service on Facebook only. And that shows again as a premiere, so you'll get the little ding as long as you're join the Facebook page or Facebook group.
And that's at 5:45 on Sunday evening.
Right, and that's a rebroadcast of the morning service. We dive back in just because the second time around you pick up the stuff you missed the first time.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you were doing your own thing in the morning. Maybe you're home church, or you were surfing, or whatever, sleeping in, doing the pillow thing. Join us in the evening and pick up a second shot at it. Again, if you'll connect into the group, the page, or even if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll get that notification in your Facebook notifications, even for the YouTube. So that'll pop up on your phone as well and say, hey, you're in half an hour, your thing's going to be on. You can go and see it now. And I like that because I could be anywhere by then. I think that's all I know.
Okay. Each week we bless a country. So if you know anything, have any pictures, have any stories, have any whatever about the country or blessing, next week, send them to the email address below. Next week is Portugal. Portugal. This week is Poland. I didn't know what to expect. You hear a lot about Poland, but I don't really know that much about it. It's pretty cool. All right. Poland is located in the very center of Europe, just east of Germany. It's about the size of New Mexico and has 40.5 million people. They are 88% Catholic and 11% other Christians. The world's largest castle by area, the Malbork Castle, is in Poland. It was built in the 13th century as a fortified monastery, but has been purely religious since the 1920s, and that is still open. Poland has the oldest restaurant in Europe. It opened in 1275, and you can still eat there today. That's really cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I like that.
That would go on my bucket list.
Absolutely. So, the Pole and Rock Music Festival, let me say that again because it's kind of funny. Pole and Rock, Poland, get it? Music Festival is the largest open-air festival in Europe and the largest free open-air festival in the world. The average attendance for the last few years was more than 600,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. College education in Poland is free for Polish citizens, and international students have to pay very low tuition, and they get a lot of international students for that reason. And our last fact, Copernicus. Copernicus was Polish, and he was the astronomer who established the concept that the sun is at the center of the universe instead of the earth. Copernicus, yeah. So, let's hold the people of Poland in our hearts, knowing they want the same things in their lives that we want in ours. We wish them peace and abundance and love, and we see them being prosperous and happy. And we say these words together.
May peace prevail in Poland. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail
in me. Thank you.
All right, let's dive right in. We will get 2 songs from Daniel Keppel, and then an amazing talk, I'm sure, from Brother Oracle. And without further ado, let's dive right in.
Good day, people of diversity. My name is Daniel Keppel, the singing violinist, music minister at Unity in the Seven Hills. That's Lynchburg, Virginia. This song that I've got for you here, you can join in with. The chorus is very simple. I am, you are, they are, we all are, living in the light of God. Seek the truth of who we are, beyond the skies, beyond the stars, Who we are is more than enough. Treasure its gold, unlimited stuff. We are beauty, we are kind. We are golden goodness to be mined. We believe and we know who we are. What we do now can take us so far. I am, you are, they are, we all are. Living in the light of God, living in the light of God. Living in the light of God, living in the light of God. Sing that with me now. I am, you are, they are, we all are. Living in the light of God, living in the light of God, living in the light of God, living in the light of God. Truth is, everywhere that we look, in each face, each person that we see, and that means when we look in the mirror too, all we are really looking at is the face of God, everywhere we look. Find the light in who we see, the branches of one glorious tree, within the heart and everywhere. One life, one love is what we share. We find freedom, we find peace. We have the strength to find our ease. We create who we choose to be. Forgive the past and set us free. I am, you are, they are, yes we all are. Living in the light of God, living in the light of God, living in the light of God, living in the light of God. Good day, people of diversity. Daniel Cable, the singing violinist. I have a message for you. Hopefully this will touch your hearts. In my eyes In my life, you are wonderful. You bring all the joy to me, the way you are. My heart, oh, I know, finally I have found the home. You mean all the world to me, the way you are. In your arms, I have strength, I am lifted, I am free. In my eyes, oh, you look beautiful, yes you are. In my life, you are wonderful. You bring all the joy to me, the way you are, the way you are, the way you are.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Oracle Hikatios. I want to thank you for letting me into your homes. I want to thank you for joining me this morning as we talk about judgment. It's been a very interesting topic for many of our speakers, and so I'd like to present my point of view on this wonderful yet in-depth word. For those of you who do not know me, I am Oracle. I want to thank Becky and Scott and People Diversity for hosting me. I want to thank Philip Lupo and his team, and I'd like to thank our musical guests. I am a Wiccan high priest. That is, I am a witch. I am very active in the area, and so where I am in Florida, and I am an author, published author as well, and everything that I talk about comes from my perspective, my personal perspective on what these words mean. What is it that this topic is talking about from the point of view of witchcraft? More than anything, I think one of the most important things that we can latch onto through these talks is hopefully you'll get a better sense of my religious background and who I am as a human being, and that for those of you who do not understand the path of witchcraft, that perhaps makes it a bit less scary and a bit more informed. So without further ado, let us dive into the topic of judgment. Judgment. It's been explored. So from my point of view, I'd like to say that judgment has a specific definition in the dictionary. It does. It means having an informed opinion, to make an informed discernment. That's what it means in its basic meaning. However, it has come to mean something much more harmful, in that we see how judgment has become a byword, if you will, a semiotic of negative discernment. And as negative discernment, it causes human beings have a natural innate fear of what they do not understand. And that's normal. It's normal to have fear of something that you don't understand, whether it is an animal in the wild, whether it is a strange human being that's not part of your inner circle, um, whether it is a belief or an ideology that you just cannot latch onto because you've been raised a certain way your whole life. No matter what it is we all carry judgments inside of us. It would be a lie to say that you must live in a judgment-free zone. That may work for the gym, but it doesn't necessarily work for in real life. We all have fear. We all have a fear of the unknown, and that's fine. But when it bleeds over into the idea that there has to be something in there innately wrong with somebody on a moralistic level because you don't understand, because you are afraid, because you refuse to even dive into the concept that there is something good about somebody or something beneficial to understand about an animal in the wild or a person or a stranger or someone you don't understand who has a different ideology than you, then we are stepping into the atmosphere of harm. Then we are stepping into an atmosphere where we find ourselves in a stalemate of human interaction and empathy. And so judgment as a negative discernment, and I have to tackle it as negative discernment, because this is probably the most, especially for us Westerners raised in a majority Christian fundamentalist atmosphere, judgment has become the word that people latch onto that say, I have the right to judge you for your actions. But what we really mean is I have a right to judge you or predetermine something negative about you because you are different from me, whether it is through gender, whether it is through sex, whether it is through sexual orientation, gender identity, whether it is through religious ideology, whether it is how we, how we carry ourselves, how we appear. Appearances can be deceiving. So I want to talk about, from witchcraft point of view, what does judgment really mean? And the witchcraft point of view really doesn't have a topic. We acknowledge the innate humanity within all of us to say that judgment really is something that we must grapple with, that it is something that we must learn to really wrestle and push through in order for us to be able to unite with an empathy with another human being. So that way we have a better understanding of how we can approach one another. One of the major things about witchcraft is that witchcraft itself has been the subject of negative discernment by people within a religious atmosphere, whether it is through the Satanic Panic of the 80s that took place. For those of you who do not know what that is, the Satanic Panic was a moral panic that gripped the United States and later England in an atmosphere of just intense fear, to the point to where it caused congressional meetings to address the topic that there was actual ritual sexual abuse that took place in covens, and that it started with a book called by the title of Michelle Remembers. And Michelle Remembers was published, I think, in 1980-81. And it talked about how a young girl at the age of 5 experienced horrific sexual abuse, ritual abuse, at the hands of a community of Satanists. And the book launched an atmosphere of, who can you trust? Can you trust your babysitter? Can you trust the daycare? Can you trust your pastor? Can you trust your parents? Can you trust your grandparents? And what ended up happening was there was heightened suspicion in communities of people against each other, and separations that took place, complete cutting off of family members and friends and longtime associates from people who believed in false memory implants done by hypnotherapists at the time, that and religious leaders that told them that they were ritually abused, they had been ritually sexually abused, and memories were cropping up, people convincing themselves that this had actually happened. that there was a conspiracy in a daycare, there was a conspiracy from a judge or a pastor or a teacher or whatever, and that people had gotten together in the cloak of the night to perform acts of ritual acts to Satan, and that they had sacrificed children as a result. But this was real. This was real, and it bled into the mid '90s. And for a long time, there were people in jail, in prison, into the '90s, into the late '90s, early 2000s, just for being accused of satanic ritual abuse. And the occult was smeared. There were talk show hosts during the day, such as Sally Jesse Raphael and others, Jenny Jones, who had guests on their television show from the satanic churches saying, this is not what we do. This is not who we are. At the same time, it spawned a legion of books, I should say, of literature from the pagan side, from the witchcraft side, saying, we are not like Satanists. We don't believe in the devil. It's not part of us. The devil is a Christian invention. And we are not like that. We strive to live in harmony with nature. We strive to harm none. We strive to do this and that, which is fine, but it caused prejudice and judgment from paganism against Satanists. And for those of you who do not know anything about Satanism, Satanism is actually an atheistic philosophy. They do not actually, most LaVeyan Satanists who follow the Church of Satan do not actually believe in a Satan. He is a symbol of all that is opposite of Christianity. We turn the other cheek and suffer for a living and enjoy your suffering until you reach heaven. Satanism latched onto something opposite. It says, no, we are going to have pleasure in the here and now. We are going to defend ourselves. We are going to not turn the other cheek when someone abuses us. We are going to retribute eye for an eye. No, we are not going to allow our women to be cattle and chattel. We are going to encourage consent, and we are going to encourage the fact that if you do not have consent to have sex, for example, you do not have the right to take advantage of somebody. So these were values that were already ingrained in the precepts of Satanism. But it was ignorance and judgment on the part of pagans who got swept up into it out of fear that they would be persecuted, because people they actually lost their kids. They lost their kids, they lost their jobs, they lost custody battles, they were ostracized from communities. Their stores were targeted, their homes were targeted. Very palpable, fed by religious fundamentalism and fear of the unknown. And rather than taking into account a lot of our own biases, we, as pagans and witches, we bled that into other people. And so a lot of literature came out saying, for example, the inverted pentagram, which is a 5-pointed star, but it's inverted, was satanic, but upright was witchcraft, or was Wiccan. And, this was the opposite of the two. And really, that's a false dichotomy. There were false dichotomies that were going on all the time. And this is what judgment leads to, is a set of dichotomies within our minds. We get into a fallacy of black or white. Is it or isn't it? It either is or it isn't. You're either for me or against me. That kind of judgmental, that kind of discernment, that kind of rhetoric that spills over. And so I think witchcraft itself, being the subject of discrimination, we tend to have come a long way, but there's still a lot of discrimination. There's still a lot of judgment about what witchcraft really is. As recently as in the 2000s, former President George W. Bush had said that he didn't think Wicca was a religion, that witchcraft was a religion, that it was a cult, that he was then governor of Texas when he said that, just around the time of the election. And we see today in our society that many people are facing judgment, negative discernment, based on their sexual identity, based on their gender identity, rather. Excuse me. And so, being transgender, being non-binary, being agender, being, it's still there is still a persecution that is going on because, especially in my state where I'm in Florida, because there's consistent discrimination against diversity and equity and inclusion, because there is a feeding of fear that what is different must be bad. What is different must be evil. It must be the work of the evil one, because we are the light, they are the dark. And the Bible says in the book of First Corinthians, that there is a light and a dark, that there is, that you have to separate yourself, that the Christian must separate themselves from that which is unsaved, because there is no equality between the two. Even to the point of families separating because of this kind of thing that has happened in many fundamentalist sectors, where families have separated, parents have separated from each other because one just would not convert and the other one was converted. This is a dangerous ideology that has gripped our atmosphere. It has gripped our society right now. And we are in the midst of a moral panic about even something as simple as drag queens, that drag queens are going after young children because of, to pervert them to become something that they are not. And in reality, this is just another moral panic. Moral panics grip when they have a fast hold on society. There is no reasoning with fear that refuses to educate, with fear that refuses to move past itself and become a more healthy sense of acceptance and empathy. And it's not new. It's not just unique to the United States. For example, in ancient Rome, there was a moral panic about the Dionysian mysteries, the mysteries of Dionysus and Bacchus, also named Bacchus. And so the Dionysian mysteries taught that it was a mystery, meaning that it was a set of initiation rites that you had to go through in order to come to enlightenment of yourself and find a type of afterworld salvation, in a sense, that you would be welcome into a type of paradise. And but the thing about being Dionysian is that it empowered women, it empowered minorities, it empowered slaves. And so people who followed the god Dionysus were considered themselves liberated, because one of his epithets means liberator, and he was a liberator. He is a liberator. And so people who had been initiated were like, I'm liberated, my soul is fine, I'm good to go. There is no way that I'm going to allow society to dictate who I am, despite slavery, despite oppression of women, despite many things. Many found empowerment. And so the Roman state did look down upon the Dionysian initiates, and actually had a moral panic that Dionysian initiates were actually within the higher echelons of government, plotting to overthrow Rome. And so there began a mass persecution of Dionysian initiates, to the point to where in I believe it was in 186 BCE, there was the Bacchanalia, the festivals of Bacchus were outlawed, and people were persecuted to the point to where there was a story that said that Dionysian initiates alone were cornered on the coast of Italy, and they went out to the ocean and drowned themselves rather than surrender the fact that they had been initiates of the mysteries, rather than surrender the secrets of the mysteries and out one another. They went out to the ocean and drowned. So we have a festival in October called, in modern times, which took place, the launch took place in October in Roman times. So in October of modern times, we have a celebration called the Festival of the Bacchic Martyrs for some of us, where we celebrate the martyrdom of the Bacchic initiates who had surrendered themselves and rather let themselves be killed and crucified and drowned. than surrender knowledge about what it meant to be a Dionysian, because they felt themselves liberated already. But this continued, and then Dionysian cults were allowed to celebrate in Rome, but they had to be under the auspices of the government, much like how Christianity is under the auspices of the Chinese government today. Many official churches in China must be government sanctioned. Those that are not are quickly persecuted. So there is, quite frankly, a history here of humanity, no matter what culture, no matter what area, no matter what era of history. There is a story here that tells us that in fear is where there is the root of judgment, the root of discrimination, the root of negative discernment is held here. And how can we combat this judgment? How can we combat? Well, we combat it with empathy. We combat it with a space. We make space for others to share, to dialogue, to talk. That's what this interfaith community is all about, is to help us dialogue with one another about our various belief systems, our various practices, and to show the world that there is indeed a way to unite one with the other. So that way we have a better understanding of what it means to be human beings who just are, we may have different thoughts, we may have different beliefs, different practices in our approach to the divine, but ultimately we are human beings, and that's what counts. We are human. And so I think even still, there, when it comes to that, the Bible says that perfect love casts out fear. What does that mean? That means that, we are, for those of you who are Christian, or even find that phrase very inspirational, that empathy leads to love of another human being. The Greek word there is agapeo, which means not just agape or unconditional love, but it is the ability to accept another human being for who they are without demanding that they change for you. That's what that means. That's the root of it. And so there was this idea that, this radical idea that if you accept somebody without demanding that they change for you, but you just accept them for who they are in all of their glory, then of course there is the beginning of dialogue. There is the beginning of empathy, the beginning of exercising that empathy. Many of us say we're empathic, but yet I've said the most judgmental people I've met are people who say they're empathic, because they utilize their empathy as a means of saying, oh, well, I already know who you are and I don't like you. That's not empathy. Exercising empathy means that you actually are mirroring another individual. When we empathize, our mirror neurons, which we have in our brain, are able to then actually scientifically match the mirror neurons of the individual in front of us, so that when we're engaging in a reciprocal dialogue, we're able to then reflect their way of life, their customs, their standards, their ways, their speech, their mannerisms within our own brain, and vice versa. So that way, when we are literally, our brain is literally shifting so that we are in someone else's shoes. Literally, we are in their position, and we can understand where they're coming from. And this is powerful. This is a powerful way to just reach out and engage in what we find important in life. Without it, we will not be able to to find commonality and find peace and find love and find empathy and discover that we have much more in common than when we are different. Naturally, part of our brain is that we have evolved from primates. We are primates at our heart, and primates are territorial, and they fight over territory. They fight what they fear. And so we still have a part of our brain that struggles to understand, what does that mean? What is our territory? Are they people? Are they our space? Are they our belief systems? What is it what we latch onto? But if we're willing to just open up our dialogue, if we're willing to just engage and speak, just I've spoken to many fundamentalist Christians over the years, and I understand where their fear is coming from. I engage in the dialogue. Whether they engage with it back with me or not is a completely different story, but hopefully I've been able to plant a seed. I may not have been able to convince them wholeheartedly of the fact that I am just as valid to exist as they are, but hopefully they're able to understand that there is a seed that's planted that later on it's able to blossom on its own. Um, I look at people who come my way and they're able to discuss with me and able to discuss theology and philosophy, and I can understand that. I can engage my mirror neurons. I'm exercising that kind of empathy. Whether they do or not is up to them. But I feel like I've done my part to try and make my world a much better understanding place, a place of understanding. And when it comes to witchcraft in general, especially, there is still a lot of stigma to overcome. Many young people are turning to witchcraft because they are finding liberation, much like the Dionysian initiates of old. They are finding liberation. They are finding self-sufficiency. They are finding peace. They are finding a direct line to the divine. It encourages them to discover themselves and have accountability for themselves. So, more than anything of that, I am completely grateful for my religious path. I'm completely grateful for my religious beliefs, my religious practices, and they help me to become a better human being. And hopefully, in the end, that's all what our religious and ideologies, or even non-religious, non-theistic beliefs do, is that they make us become better human beings. Because in the end, that's all that matters, really. So, I'm coming to the end. I'd like to thank Becky and Scott, People Diversity. I'd like to thank our musical therapist and Philip Lupo and his team. I'd like to thank all of you who have taken the time to actually listen to me now and over the years, who want to engage in better dialogue and want to engage in a better sense of understanding of who we are as human beings. So I thank you. I'm grateful for you. And for those of you who have any questions, please, 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 please ask those questions. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to ask, because that's how we learn, right? That's how we learn. It's how we grow, is by asking questions and putting our thoughts to rest. So, without further ado, I'd like to say, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Blessings to you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Daniel. Amazing as build. And Oracle, brother, you amaze us every time. Thank you so much for your heart, your wisdom, your knowledge. We're grateful you're part of our community. Philip and team, thank you for taking our crazy and making it streamlined and wonderful. If you have needs for audiovisual, whether they be online or in person, please see Philip and his team, and they will take very good care of you. Reminders. Again, following the morning service from 11:45 to 12:15, we will do a deep dive. Join us for that, please. The Facebook Live that rebroadcasts in the evening, if you are watching in the evening, it just happened and you missed it. It's at 5:45. And reminders that next week we will hear two amazing songs from Jennifer Farron and our yogic representative, Vedic yoga representative, Swami Shakti Durgaya. And we are looking forward to that team.
Yes, we are. Okay, if you would like to join this effort, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org and push that donate button. Another thing you can do is when you get these Facebook notices and you see them, if you're on Facebook or on the, can you share things on the YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
or the YouTube channel. Push that share button. Share it with your friends. Share it with groups that you know of. Whatever. Just help us get the word out. That's free and easy, and it just helps spread the pod. So we appreciate that. So let's just take a minute. Take a breath. Thank you, Spirit, for all that the pod is, all that the pod does. Thank you for our amazing speakers and our musicians and our tech team. We are so blessed to have all of them. And thank you especially for the people that watch and contribute. And we use those donations and help us use them in a good way to spread the word and create those ripples. And we say, amen.
Amen.
All right, last thing. Send out a little energy. Bring to your mind anybody, person, place, thing, situation that needs some extra love this week. Hold them in your heart. Put them in the middle of our energetic circle. I like to put my hands out and feel that energy. Actually feel it going out and circling up with all of us that are on and watching this. And open up, get some energy on you. We're going to listen to this last song, and we thank you very much, and have a good week.
Power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of